You ever have one of those days where you do everything right? You work your whole life to climb that impossible ladder, and in one spit-flecked instant, some guy with too much money and too little shame tries to send you right back to square one. Yeah, that happened. I'm Jasmine Williams, and until about a week ago, nobody outside my family, my friends, and a few aerospace nerds had any idea who I was. I sure never wanted to be a headline, let alone a symbol, but life's got a funny way of shoving you right into the spotlight whether you're ready or not. Let me back up a sec. I was flying to Seattle, clutching my boarding pass for flight 2267, hands sweating for all the right reasons. I'd clawed my way here 15 years, pushing through everything from maybe math's not for girls to sorry, you're not the right fit for our culture. But this time, Horizon Aerospace wanted me, and not for some diversity quota. The CEO herself had emailed me after reading my research. It was my shot. I kept thinking if I nail this interview, doors open not just for me, but for every black woman who ever got told to sit down and shut up in a boardroom. The gate agent smiled and handed me an upgrade to business class, little omen, right? And for once, I actually believed the universe might be lining up for me. I settled in, stowed my granddad's old Tuskegee Airman pin, and let myself breathe. The flight attendant, Maya Chun, met me with a smile, called me by name, made me feel like I belonged. She had no idea how rare that was. Things went sideways after we hit turbulence. Not the usual jostleless, was the kind that makes you question your life choices. By the time the captain announced an emergency stop in Denver, my heart was thumping, but I figured, okay, just a blip. I was reviewing my notes, riding high off the CEO's message, when a man showed up. I didn't catch his name at first. Middle-aged, white, tailored suit so sharp you could cut yourself on it, Curtis Whitfield. It turned out, executive EP at some mega finance firm. He marched up, said, "You're in my seat. I need to sit with my son. Move. Not please. Not can you help." Like I was the help. The boy behind him, Trevor, looked about ready to crawl under the seat. I told him no, and I meant it. That's when the real performance started, louder, nastier, trying to make me the villain for not obeying. "People like you, clearly a mistake. You're up here. Do you know who I am?" He raised his voice, so half the cabin turned to watch. Someone started recording. That's when you know things are about to get ugly. You know what I mean? He doubled down, claimed the airline owed him, that I was there because someone felt sorry for me. He threw every dog whistle in the book. I kept my composure, even when he called for the flight attendant, demanded she move me to economy so his son could sit up front. Maya, God bless her, stood her ground, said I had every right to my seat. Then Curtis dropped the bomb. "You need to know your place." Spit hit my cheek. The whole plane froze. For a second, I saw the same scene play out that I'd lived 100 times, except this time, people were watching. Cameras out. Maya planted herself between us, cool as ice, and told Curtis to go back to his seat or security would meet him in Denver. The man turned beet red, glared at us, but he finally stormed off. The cabin broke into applause. Some people fist bumped me. An older black woman squeezed my hand and didn't say a word, but she didn't need to. That should have been the end, but life's never that simple. As we landed in Denver for the inspection, my phone blew up. I wasn't just trending, I was everywhere. Someone uploaded the video before we hit the tarmac. Racist executive tells black woman to know her place, flight attendant shuts him down. I went from nobody to symbol before I'd even made it to the terminal. Messages flooded in. My mom called, frantic. My best friend texted, proud. Random trolls found my number, wish me dead. I was famous or infamous, depending who you asked. Strangers stared in the terminal. Some whispered, some gave me a thumbs up. Others just glared. I felt like I'd stepped out of my life and into a circus. Airport security pulled me aside. Turns out Curtis had accused me of threatening his son. He lied flat out, claimed I'd used racist language. Trevor, this kid with fear and shame written all over him, finally spoke up, told the truth. She never said anything to me. My dad made me wait in the back. If you've never seen a powerful man's mask crack in public, it's something: rage, humiliation, panic, all mixed together. I was cleared, but I knew Curtis wasn't done. By the time we reboard, Maya and I shared coffee in the terminal, and Weirdly, found out her brother worked in aerospace, took the very company I was interviewing for. For a moment, it felt like the universe was giving me a breather. That vanished with one email. In light of recent events, your interview is postponed. Maya's brother later told her Curtis was a major investor at Horizon, pulling strings behind the scenes. Second leg to Seattle. Everyone watched me. Curtis spun the media, played the victim. Maya was put on review for standing up to him. The hotel I'd booked? Canceled by your company, the desk clerk said. Every other place in town, full. Curtis had made calls, flex his power. I ended up crashing at Maya's cousin Lee's apartment. She worked in tech, understood that know your place wasn't just about one plane ride, it was a lifetime of fighting for space. That night, conservative news twisted the story. Aggressive woman threatens businessman and child. They edited out his words, his spit, Maya's stand. Suddenly, I was a troublemaker, a grifter. The comments went from support to death threats. My parents' home got targeted. Still, I dressed up the next morning and showed up at Horizon, ready to face them. The suits tried to fob me off, the positions filled, a mess. Carter's unavailable, but I insisted. Elizabeth Carter, the CEO, swept in. She'd read my work, called me brilliant. She promised to fight for me, but made it clear Curtis was going to oust her too. This wasn't about me, Anna Maria. It was a proxy war for power and the soul of the company. Things only got wilder. Sarah Johnson, a civil rights attorney, reached out. What Curtis is doing is textbook retaliation. We started building a case. Then Curtis filed a $5 million defamation suit against me. Maya lost her job. Death threats escalated. Trevor, bless him, secretly sent us proof. Emails, texts showing Curtis's explicit orders to blacklist me, to destroy my reputation. A journalist named Meredith Shout dug up similar stories from others Curtis had crushed. And then, just as the world started losing interest, I found the lever I needed. Curtis's company was chasing a $350 million government contract. I filed a complaint, provided all the evidence. Federal investigators stepped in. Suddenly, the board at Meridian Capital shoved Curtis aside, named a new interim CEO. His empire shook for the first time. Court was brutal. The judge was in Curtis's pocket, but even he couldn't ignore the security footage and the paper trail. Trevor testified, Maya backed me up, and finally, Elizabeth Carter herself torpedoed Curtis. She fired his lackey, rescinded the job offer to the unqualified guy who'd replaced me, and gave me the position I'd earned. Curtis tried to buy my silence. $2 million, NDA, apology, sweep it all away, so he could keep ruining lives in secret. Sarah, my lawyer, left it to me. If you walk away, I understand. If you fight, I'm with you. I thought about Maya, Trevor, Lee, my parents, everyone who paid a price for my decision to stay seated on that plane. Sometimes, the cost of dignity is more than you ever imagined, but if you don't pay it, who will? I turned him down. We pressed on, took the fight public, exposed his company's pattern of discrimination. When the Washington Post published internal docs showing years of exclusion, Meridian Capital stock tanked, and Curtis went from feared kingmaker to cautionary tale. But I won't sugarcoat it. Victory doesn't mean everything goes back to normal. Maya still lost her job. My family still worries every time the doorbell rings. I have the job I earned, but I'll always have a target on my back for refusing to play along. Curtis is still rich, still connected, probably already plotting his comeback. That's the thing nobody tells you. Standing up for yourself means risking everything. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you find unexpected allies. Flight attendants with courage, teenagers willing to tell the truth, CEOs willing to risk the boardroom for what's right. So what would you do? Stand your ground and risk everything, or keep your head down and survive another day? Drop your thoughts below, because this fight isn't just about airplane seats or one man's ego. It's about what we're willing to let slide and what we're finally ready to change. And if you believe even one person refusing to move can make a difference, hit that share button. Let's keep this conversation alive.